Welcome to today's deep dive, which is brought to you by AI Opportune. And before we get into anything else today, if you haven't already, you absolutely need to subscribe to AI Opportune.
You really do.
Yeah, they are doing just incredible work in the AI space right now. And honestly, subscribing is simply the best way to make sure you're always staying ahead of the curve in a world that is, well, it's changing by the second.
Completely.
Seriously, go subscribe right now. You will thank yourself later. All right, so let's get into the deep dive. We are talking about a scenario today that I guarantee you have experienced. It is, it's basically universal modern frustration at this point.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this.
Right. So picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You are sitting on your couch, you're watching a great movie, or maybe you're binging a prestige drama. Let's say you're watching a show with just incredible wardrobe design.
Like a really sharp period piece or something?
Exactly. And suddenly you see it. An absolutely unbelievable jacket on the main character. Or maybe it's the perfect pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
And immediately you are plunged into the darkest, most frustrating cycle of the modern internet.
The dreaded see it, search it, wait for it cycle.
Yes. It's the absolute worst. You're pausing the screen, you're pulling out your phone, and trying to type these vaguely desperate descriptions into a search engine. Like, blue bomber jacket, weird collar, episode 3, worn by the guy with the mustache.
And we all know how that ends.
Right. You are flooded with scrolling pages of completely unrelated images. Cheap knockoffs or, I don't know, Pinterest boards from 2014.
Yeah, you get totally derailed.
And by the time you find something that even looks remotely similar to what was on screen,
Right.
You've completely lost the plot of the show. The desire to buy the thing is just evaporated.
The moment has entirely passed.
Exactly. Well, today we are going to explore what looks like the absolute death of that discovery gap. Our source material for this deep dive is a really fascinating internal brief we got our hands on. It's titled Rough Draft Silvr Shoppable TV App .docus.
Yeah, and the mission for our deep dive today is to really unpack how a brand new fashion tech app called Silvr, which, by the way, just launched recently on February 24th, 2026, how this app is attempting to solve this exact, highly specific, yet totally universal problem.
It's such a specific pain point.
It is. So we're going to look at how Silvr is using what's called multimodal AI to essentially turn whatever streaming content you are watching into an instant, frictionless checkout layer.
Which sounds crazy.
It does, but it goes way beyond just a cool party trick for finding a jacket. We're going to examine what this underlying technology actually means for the massive and frankly exploding $1 trillion live stream commerce market.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, because what we're really talking about here is moving from a world of passive entertainment consumption to a world of active, instantaneous acquisition.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the mechanics of how this actually works for you, the user, are so incredibly seamless. It almost sounds like science fiction.
Oh,
But it is here, it's real, and it is functioning right now.
right.
If you want to use the Silvr app, it's basically a point-and-shoot experience. You just take out your phone, open the app, and point your camera right at the screen while the show is playing.
Just right at the TV.
Right at the TV.
Or it doesn't even matter if you're watching on a massive smart TV in your living room, or if you're squinting at your laptop on an airplane tray table, or just holding a tablet in bed. The app scans the screen in real time.
And it's incredibly fast.
Yeah, it instantly identifies the exact piece of clothing you are looking at. And I mean the exact piece. It recognizes the brand, the cut, the fit, and then boom, it gives you a direct click to the retailer to finish the purchase. No typing, no searching, no guessing keywords.
Which honestly is a massive leap from the way the industry has tried to do this in the past.
Oh, yeah. For years, executives have tried to make shoppable TV or T-commerce happen, but it always felt like a clunky overlay. Remember the early days of smart TVs where you'd get these distracting QR codes popping up on the side of the screen?
Oh, I hated those. Or those intrusive banners that would literally block the actor's face.
Exactly, and ruin the viewing experience. It was a disaster because it pulled you completely out of the narrative. What makes Silvr fundamentally different is the underlying technology. They're utilizing multimodal AI combined with extremely high-fidelity computer vision.
Wait, before we go further into the weeds there, for those of us who aren't software engineers, what does multimodal AI actually mean in this specific context? Because I hear that buzzword thrown around a lot lately.
It is a heavy buzzword, but the concept is actually quite intuitive. Multimodal simply means the AI can understand and process different types of data at the exact same time.
Like how we process things.
Exactly. Think about human senses. We use our eyes, our ears, and our contextual understanding all at once. Early AI was unimodal. It could only read text or it can only look at a static image.
Okay. Multimodal AI can watch a moving video, understand the shifting lighting in the scene, recognize the three-dimensional draping of a fabric on a moving actor, and simultaneously cross-reference all of that complex visual data against a massive database of static product catalog images and text descriptions.
So it's not just reading some hidden code.
No, not at all. The app isn't relying on hidden tags or metadata that a broadcaster manually typed into the video file. The AI is literally watching the screen with you, interpreting the visual environment on the fly, regardless of the camera angle.
That is wild. But hold on, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second, because I have definitely tried to use generic image search tools to find clothes before.
Sure.
You upload a screenshot of a great pair of boots, and the search engine gives you something that is maybe the same color leather, but entirely the wrong style. It thinks a cowboy boot is a Chelsea boot just because they're both brown. How is this app avoiding that trap? Here is the number that really caught my eye in this brief, and it answers that exact skepticism. Silvr is operating at a 95% prediction accuracy.
95% on moving video.
Yes.
That seems impossibly high.
It does, until you look at how they trained their models. Generic tools like Google Lens, for example, are trained to be generalists. They have to be able to identify a golden retriever, the Eiffel Tower, a mid-century modern chair, and a bowl of ramen.
Right. They have to know everything.
Exactly. Their training data is incredibly broad. Silvr's models took the opposite approach. They are hyper-specialized. They were trained exclusively on fashion silhouettes and brand catalogs.
Okay.
So the AI isn't just looking for a blue jacket. It fundamentally understands the specific drape of a particular silk blend. It recognizes the unique cut of a designer's lapel, and it can spot the signature stitching pattern of a specific luxury house.
That is fascinating.
That hyper-specialization is what unlocks that staggering 95% accuracy rate.
That makes so much more sense. It's a specialist versus a general practitioner. And the brief points out that it doesn't just stop at that one-off search either. This is where it gets highly personalized for you, the user.
You're right.
Once the app starts to learn what catches your eye, the things you actually take the time to point your phone at, it builds what they are calling an AI-curated discovery feed.
Which is brilliant marketing.
It really is. So based on your favorite shows and the specific items you've scanned, it generates a totally customized feed of trending items. It's basically like having a high-end personal shopper who happens to watch all the exact same TV shows that you do.
And they're constantly rolling a curated rack of clothes into your living room that you're almost guaranteed to love.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the timing of this launch in 2026 is no accident whatsoever. We have officially hit a massive tipping point.
Yeah, the market has shifted.
Dramatically. The economic landscape surrounding video commerce has completely transformed in the last few years. Global livestream sales are currently projected to pass the $1 trillion mark. Let that sink in. $1 trillion.
That is a staggering amount of money.
And at the exact same time, we are seeing connected TV, which the industry calls CTV, meaning streaming on smart TVs. We are seeing that ad spending surge to approximately $38 billion.
Wow.
The money, and more importantly, the consumer attention, are heavily concentrated in the streaming space. The discovery gap, that friction between you seeing something you want on screen and actually being able to buy it, is a multi-billion-dollar problem that retailers have been absolutely desperate to close.
But who is actually doing this? I mean, are people really going to pause a prestige HBO drama to buy a shirt? It feels like it requires a massive behavioral shift for the average viewer.
For older generations, perhaps, but the demographic driving this shift is undeniably Gen Z, and their behavior is already completely baked in. The brief highlights a fascinating behavioral trend. Over 83% of Gen Z currently engage with shopping videos on social platforms.
83%, that is an overwhelming majority.
Exactly. For that generation, shopping is already inherently tied to video content. You watch a TikTok, you tap a link, you buy the lip gloss or the hoodie. It is second nature. The friction is already gone.
So it's not a new behavior at all.
No, whoever built Silvr didn't invent a new behavior. They are simply migrating it.
And that leads right into who is actually behind this. Who builds something that requires this level of search intent understanding? The brief mentions the founders are Josh Lancet and Jason Fulstrom. Who are they?
They are former Google executives.
Of course.
Which is the missing puzzle piece here. They deeply, intimately understand search, user intent, and how to monetize a micro moment of curiosity. What Lancet and Fallstrom are doing is taking this established native behavior from the small screen of social media and moving it directly to the big screen of premium streaming.
They are taking that impulsive TikTok shopping reflex and applying it to Netflix, Hulu, and Max.
Precisely.
Wow. Okay, so they're essentially creating what the brief calls invisible shopping.
That is the perfect term for it. The 2026 consumer demands absolute instant gratification. The tolerance for friction for any intermediate milestones in the purchasing journey is practically zero.
I mean, think about how annoying it is to leave a viewing experience. You have to open a mobile browser, navigate to a third-party marketplace, search for an item, filter the results by your size, and then finally type in your credit card.
It's exhausting just saying it.
It really is. Silvr's model removes the intermediary entirely. By routing you directly to the brand's checkout, they decrease the path to purchase by 60%.
Yeah.
It's invisible shopping because the transaction happens almost as an afterthought to the entertainment itself. I really love that phrase, invisible shopping. It captures how effortless they're trying to make the consumer's life.
Right.
But to pull off invisible shopping, you need the actual clothes.
Yes, you do.
You can have the best AI in the world, but
Right.
if it can't link to a store that has the item in stock, the app is totally useless. This is where I started totally geeking out over the brief, because the scale of Silvr's partnerships at launch is absolutely massive.
It's impressive.
It's not just a clever visual search tool, it is a giant catalog aggregator behind the scenes. They have integrated over 300 fashion brands right out of the gate.
Which is a vital operational achievement. As you said, a 95% accuracy rate in computer vision means nothing if the system hits a dead end. The ecosystem they've built is incredibly robust.
It's staggering. Just to give you an idea of the sheer range, they have broken it down into several distinct categories in the brief. First, you have your high-end luxury brands. They've got Alexander McQueen and Etro on board.
Huge names.
Then you have the massive activewear category covered with giants like Nike, Alo Yoga, and New Balance. They also lock down the retail giants, your Nordstrom, Amazon, and Macy's. But the one category that really truly stood out to me was circular fashion and resale.
The resale integration is fascinating. Why did that stand out to you?
Because it solves the biggest problem with watching older TV shows. They have partnerships with The RealReal and First Dibs. Let's say you were watching a rerun of a show from 5 years ago, or a period piece set in the 90s.
Right.
The AI can spot a vintage piece on a character, recognize immediately that it's out of season and no longer sold in primary retail, and instantly scan a luxury resale site to find the exact match or something incredibly close.
That is next-level integration.
It breathes new retail life into old media.
It is a very comprehensive retail spectrum and, frankly, a logistical marvel. But as impressive as the app is, there is a strategic pivot detailed later in the source document that changes the entire business model from a consumer tool to an industry powerhouse.
Let's get into the money. How are they keeping the lights on?
Right now, Silvr generates revenue through affiliate commissions. They get a cut when you buy the jacket. But the real play is through platform licensing.
Licensing to who?
The brief reveals they have a signed letter of intent to bring a pause-to-shop feature directly to TV remotes for major platforms like Netflix and Max later this year. They are moving heavily into white label licensing.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because right now, as we discussed, Silvr is a standalone app on your phone. You have to actively choose to pull your device out and point it at the television. There's still a tiny bit of friction there.
A little bit, yeah.
But if they license this technology directly to the streaming giants, the technology completely disappears into the platform itself. It becomes native.
Completely seamless.
Imagine you're watching Max. You hit the pause button on your actual TV remote, the screen freezes, and little unobtrusive shoppable tags just gently appear over the characters' outfits. You click your remote's directional pad, and you buy it through your saved TV profile.
It completely changes the physical act of watching television. It turns every single frame of a movie into an interactive storefront. And that transition perfectly aligns with the long-term vision laid out by the founders. The roadmap for Silvr clearly indicates that the mobile app is just phase one.
Really?
Yes. They want to move entirely beyond the standalone app model. The first major step on that roadmap is building an integrated checkout. Right now, the app identifies the item and hands you off. It routes you to Nordstrom or Nike's mobile site to finish the purchase.
Got it.
By building the checkout directly into the Silvr interface, they keep you entirely within their own digital walls. Historically, in e-commerce, keeping a user in-app boosts conversion rates significantly because it removes that final, deadly moment of friction waiting for a retailer's website to load.
Okay, so the living room is solved. The friction is gone. But the brief hints at something much bigger and honestly a little mind-bending. The integrated checkout isn't even the wildest part of their roadmap. The founders are looking way past the couch. They have detailed plans for wearable integration.
The augmented reality angle.
Yes, they are developing Silvr to work natively with AR glasses, meaning you won't just be identifying fashion on a glowing screen in your house. You will be walking down the street or sitting in a coffee shop, and if you see someone walk by wearing an amazing coat, your AR glasses will use that exact same multimodal AI to identify the garment in the real world.
Just by looking at it.
Just by looking at it.
It is the creation of what the brief calls an always-on commerce layer. If we project this roadmap forward, it means any visual input you experience, whether it's a recorded video on a screen, a live sports broadcast, or just a physical interaction out in the real world on a Tuesday afternoon, becomes inherently interactive.
That is huge.
The exact same hyper-specialized AI technology that bridges the discovery gap on your television will bridge the discovery gap on the sidewalk.
So what does this all mean for you? It means the line between entertainment media, the digital world, and physical retail storefronts has completely, 100% vanished. They are no longer separate industries.
Precisely. The next time you sit down to watch a movie or stream your favorite show, you have to realize that you aren't just an audience member in the traditional sense anymore.
Right.
You are actively navigating a $1 trillion marketplace that just happens to be disguised as premium entertainment. The content itself is the catalog.
It's wild to think about. Every costume designer in Hollywood just became a high-end, high-converting merchandiser. Every actor on screen is essentially a mannequin.
It does raise an incredibly profound question, though, especially when we look at that wearable AR roadmap for the real world.
Oh, definitely.
If AR glasses and multimodal AI eventually turn every single garment in the physical world into an instant scannable storefront, how will that change human behavior?
That's a great question.
Think about it. If you know that anyone looking at you on the street can instantly identify the brand, the season, and the exact price of what you are wearing, will we start dressing purely to appease the algorithm of the physical world? We have to wonder if, eventually, we will essentially be turning ourselves and our personal style into walking, interactive, affiliate link billboards.
That is a wild, slightly terrifying thought to leave on.
Yeah.
Are you dressing for yourself or are you dressing for the scan? We will let you chew on that one for a while.
That's a lot to process.
It really is. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Silvr, multimodal AI, and the wild future of shoppable media. Before we go, one final reminder to subscribe to our incredible sponsor, AI Opportune. You do not want to miss the cutting-edge work they're doing, so go hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.